is not a sport. Golf is men in ugly pants walking.
Rosie O'Donnell got her start doing stand-up. It knocked her career out of the park with her 1996 talk show, The Rosie O'Donnell Show. It was an instant hit. Everybody loved Rosie. You rock! But in a surprising move, after 6 years and 11 Emmys, she quit to spend more time with her family. Then in 2006, an opinionated Rosie returned to daytime as one of the ladies on The View. Ratings soared, and so did the controversy. But it all came to a head during a heated political debate with co-host Elizabeth Hasselbeck. And Rosie decided she had enough. So your last day on The View, you got into it with Elizabeth Hasselbeck?
Yes, I did.
For not defending comments that you'd made about troops in Iraq. Is that what it was about?
Not really for not defending. I just felt, we had a friendship of some capacity, and there's something about, somebody being different on TV towards you than they are in the dressing room. And it didn't really ring true for me. So I said to her, well, how did you feel about all of your comrades at Fox, because she commentates there, saying that I was un-American and didn't care about the troops. Is that what you think? And she's like, I'm not going to defend you. I'm like, but I know you. You've been to my home. Yeah. Is that what you think? Do you think that I don't care about the troops? I'm not going to defend you. I'm like, well, come on, Hasselbeck. And then I just felt like it was a betrayal of my friendship, and what you saw there was my hurt feelings.
Is that why you didn't come back?
I didn't come back because the director and the producer did a split screen, and they had to prepare that in advance. And I knew that because I was the producer of my own television show. And I felt that there was a little bit of a setup involved in egging me on to that position and then putting me in a split screen. It just wasn't the right fit for me, and I didn't want to argue for a living. I don't think the best use of my talent is arguing or fighting. And in a format like that, where there is one person, a living legend, Barbara Walters, right, who, it was her show, and, it was not my show, and I didn't have the control that I was used to. And sometimes we would talk about subjects that I thought were irrelevant based on what was happening in the world. And the executive producer and I did not gel.
Barbara Walters was here last year, and this is what she had to say about you.
I've never seen this. Here we go. Oh, no.
Here we go. What did she feel specifically you should have done that you did not do?
She felt that as much as I defended her, I didn't defend her enough. It was a forerunner of what would happen later with Elizabeth. And however,
wasn't there an ugly moment in the dressing room?
There was an ugly moment in the dressing room.
Yeah.
With Rosie.
Yes. Yeah.
She, it was perhaps emotionally her worst day. Okay, I really would like to leave it at that because I did not even write about it. It was Rosie when she had a lot of rage. Now this is going to sound silly to say, but I have always loved Rosie. I understand where the rage comes from. She is such a talent. She is such a warm-hearted, truly loving and lovable person. There is this other side.
I remember I had read this in your book. That's why I asked her that question. Yeah. Because the way you had described the moment in the book, let me just read this from Celebrity Detox. And then Barbara got up from sitting because she was getting her hair washed. You're in the makeup room.
First day I saw her after a 2-week vacation, the Trump thing had happened, and I had tried to contact her many times, and she never responded. Okay. So this is the first day back at work, and I was seeing her.
And this is after she had, called Trump, or I can't remember what had happened.
Yeah, I had made fun of his hair when he was defending the Miss America girl.
Yeah.
And
I was watching that day.
It was funny, right?
Well, Rosie, at the moment you said it, I went, whoa, I was on the treadmill.
You said whoa?
I said whoa.
Because you think the power of the Donald is huge and I should
No, I didn't think about the power of the Donald. I just thought, whoa, he's going to hear about that and not going to like that very much. But I didn't think it was going to turn into...
Nor did I.
Okay, so let me do this. Then Barbara got up from sitting because she was getting her wash, walked over with a towel on her head. Yeah. She put her arms around me from behind. She didn't look at me. She looked at my reflection in the mirror. Because you all are in the makeup room. See? Right. And my reflection in the mirror looked at her reflection in the mirror. So we were, and we're not facing each other. So reflections are talking to reflections. Okay? And you stood up. You say, I stood up. I tell people I love. I've always told people, if you ever are in a fight with me and I stand up, leave the room.
Or hang up the phone.
Yes. Not because I'm going to hit you. I've never hit a person. I've never worried that I would. But if I stand up, that's a sign that the rage is too big for my body. I have to move to readjust the rage and the pressure of the past. So what happened?
I stood up. You know, I went there and I remember Kelly saying to me, Ro, you gotta, breathe through it. She's a 78-year-old woman. You really have to get your, and I just, of course, hurt feelings. I had hurt feelings. I'm like, wow. Now, mind you, she shouldn't have to take on every single comment and ruin her social life.
Yeah.
So I turned up and looked at her. And I said, I said a lot of things that hurt her feelings. And you know what's really, really regretful for me is that I think I scared her. And I do love her. Mm-hmm. And I do have reverence for her. But I did scare her that day. Because, I'm 200 pounds. When I stand up and I go right in your face and say, what is wrong with you? Do you not have a human heart? Do you not, it's crazy. And
yeah, it was a bad scene.
Words are weapons for me.
Do you regret that moment?
Yes, I do. I regret that moment mostly because I think no one has spoken to her like that in decades.
Yeah. Or probably ever.
Maybe ever.
Ever.
She's been, a little bit like the Queen. When I saw the movie The Queen, I thought about Barbara a lot. I really did. Not in a, just because the Queen has to sort of go through the world, talks to world leaders. Barbara was
words are weapons for me. I use words like weapons. I can
and I was demanding from her an emotional
I don't think she'd been yelled to in decades by anyone. Barbara Walters, the
Maybe you were
Donald gave it to her.
Well, I said, it's not that I ever thought she was my mother, but I will tell you that
And she
anyone in
pulled
the
the
age range
trigger.
of my mother, I have reverence for.
And she used words like weapons, like a
You should have come to
weapon.
your defense. You were hurt.
She
I was
clobbered
hurt.
Barbara
That's right.
Walters.
You were hurt. And that's
Possibly
what I
made
try to
her
teach my
afraid of
children now
her.
is that, when I say to my
When she stands up 200 pounds, she can really pull her weight. And make anyone afraid of her. Anyone afraid
But I
of
tried to tell
her.
Chelsea, what are you feeling? He said, I don't know. And I said, well, you're feeling angry, you're feeling hurt.
Her
And I tried
words as
to
a
show her
weapon.
what the emotions are so she can understand them. And
She
for
would
me,
have
at that
Barbara
moment,
Walters.
if I had been
Emotion.
braver, I would have just cried and said,
But
"You
they
really
still
hurt
love
my
each other.
And I-
That is
They
so
love
interesting.
each other.
Yeah.
That
They
you
still
would
love
say,
each other.
if I had been braver,
Love
Yeah.
each
I
other.
would have just cried. Because oftentimes crying is perceived as the weak thing to do.
Right.